Hello, hello, Heather Jean here, Confidence with Coffee. This is the segment where we are talking about our latest podcast or vodcast episode. Excuse me, I seem to be losing my voice. So, if you are new here, I am Heather Jean. I'm one of the co pioneers of Confidence Through Cabaret. And I have been a training consultant and career and confidence coach for over 25 years in my own business and longer if I include the businesses that I was employed by a very long time ago. And I help women to build unshakable confidence. So I help women to create that mind body connection so that they feel good in their body. That's where the cabaret comes from. If we were on a stage, we would never not step into our spotlight. We'd never be hiding unless that was part of the act. We would be unapologetically taking up space and owning it. We would be raising our voice and we would be sharing our message unapologetically and without any explanation or requirement to explain. So I always say don't apologize and don't explain. So I help women to build their confidence in their personal life, work life, or stage life. And I realize it's all part of one life, but there are aspects of our life where we want to build more confidence, and there are aspects of our life where we already have more confidence. And so, for example, if you wanted to grow your work life confidence, then you would look for places within your personal life or within your online presence, your stage life, whatever your stage is, and you would look for those transferable skills and ways of kind of moving that energy across. And so if I give you an example, I dance cabaret and also aerial, and I like to wear very high heels for that, preferably 9-inch heels, and so they're very big platforms on the front. So it's not kind of a just a stiletto. And I used to that when I would put my boots on or my shoes on, I would feel so powerful and so strong. And I would feel so fierce, like nothing could stop me. And I wanted to feel like that all the time. And I realized I actually have the strategies and the ability to feel like that all the time. All I needed to do was transfer that across to the areas where I wanted to feel powerful and strong and capable and confident, and that's what I help the clients with, as well as overcoming imposter syndrome, really re-engaging with our body again, and loving our body. Because when you want to make changes, the first thing you have to do is accept where you are now. It's a bit like if you look on a map. If you're going to go to a place, you have to know where your starting point is to plan your route, right? So it's that, and acceptance and acknowledgement of where we are now is very important. So that's me. That's what I do. Confidence Through Cabaret. We do a lot of analogy work around, using the skills of cabaret, and you'll find that on the podcast and vodcast episodes. I ask every guest, what stage name would you like to be introduced as? What kind of performance would you like to be doing? And what kind of prop would you have with you? Because it's not about them creating an act, although a couple of them have gone on to create actual stage performances. But it's really more about kind of that, where is that inner power? Because we have this inner critic or imposter voice, that will tell us all kinds of things that we probably don't want to hear or shouldn't be saying to ourselves. And so this creates another voice that says, no, I am strong and powerful, and I can uphold my boundaries, or I can enter my stage, or I can go live, or I can apply for the job, or I can take the world by storm, whatever it is that you want to do. So that's a little bit about Confidence Through Cabaret. We have a member site, confidencethroughcabaret.com. Every month there are new masterclasses and or workshops that go up there that are related to personal life, work life, and stage life. We have some amazing expertise on there that have done masterclasses for us. And you have a workbook that goes along with it, and you work at your own kind of pace, because it's very important that you're applying things. I think we've all been on webinars. We've probably got webinaritis now, or masterclassitis, where we all go on these online freebies and then they sell to us. And this is really just a space where you're part of the member suite and you can work at your own pace through the subjects that are most relevant for you at the time. And you can really kind of be listening for what it is that you need. And then of course we have our wonderful Facebook community, and there you can get support and you can exchange ideas, and you can ask questions, or you can request subjects, or you can do whatever it is that serves you to build your confidence. So this segment is talking about our podcast or vodcast guest. And this week, I have the real, genuine privilege of spending some time with Karen Loftus, who is among other things, a leadership coach, an incredible artist. I was bowled over when I saw her oil paintings, and we talk a little bit about that on the latest episode as well. So you can check out the vodcast, the video version of our podcast, on Confidence Through Cabaret YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Go check out that. There's a lot of other playlists as well. You can check out. There's a personal life, work life, and stage life. There's all kinds of guests that have been live that you can have a look at as well. But go and check out the vodcast playlist, and it's a Karen Loftus episode, and it's about making leadership more human. And you could also find that same episode on audio podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Check out Confidence Through Cabaret. Please like and subscribe wherever you are. It really kind of helps us feel loved and gives us that kind of spur to continue doing these. But I had this wonderful time with Karen because we both have a kind of a corporate background. We both have been engaged with leadership in a corporate sense, and now have a different format of a business. Certainly, Confidence Through Cabaret is very different to my attitudes training, which was kind of more face-to-face training and delivery of coaching. And now, of course, everything is online with Confidence Through Cabaret. So we had this wonderful conversation about what leadership really is about and what that means. And, you don't have to have a title, as Karen and I discuss. You don't have to have the title leader to be a leader, because a leader is somebody that others follow. So let me ask you this: if you as a leader, you as people who follow you, who listen to you, who look up to you and respect you, and would you follow you? If you were looking at your leadership style, would you follow you? That's a question I very often ask of my clients when they're looking to develop their leadership skills. So I'll just leave that sitting there. But we talk about what leadership is in this episode, and we talk a little bit about what we learn in school, because of course, there are leaders on the playground where they'll say, let's do this, and everybody will follow. And there are different kinds of leaders as well. And of course, we're talking about developing ethically. We're talking about leadership in terms of having a vision, of having a clear mission, of having values that are defined and that we're living, and there is evidence of. It's not kind of one of those things where you put it up and say, here's our values, and then nothing happens with them. It's evident. It's how people would describe you. And in fact, on confidencethroughcabaret.com, there is there's two actually. There's a masterclass all about understanding your values and really kind of defining what your values are. And there's also a masterclass on your personal brand, once you know what those values are, and what's your tone of voice, and what's your look and feel, and all of the things that come with personal brand. But back to this episode, making leadership more human. So we talked about kind of culture, and I think, whether you have your own business and you want to develop it and grow it, or whether you're working with others or in a business that's already established that you're an employee of, it's really important that our values match, that we connect our work to the overall vision, and that we really kind of understand that culture. And I'm talking to the solopreneurs here, or the solopreneur wannabes here at this minute, because it's really important that you understand that you're trying to build a business that will grow and be bigger. And so having the foundations in place will make that transition to the growth even stronger and even more straightforward. And eventually your employees will be able to, whether they're suppliers and on contract, or whether they're actual employees full time, then they'll be able to really kind of connect to what it is that your brand is about. So let's have a look at a clip from this week's podcast with Karen Loftus. Loftus, sorry.
Being a solopreneur and or, expanding to a point, they are doing the work they enjoy, most likely,
Yes.
right? And so in order to grow, they have to put on a different hat, because they have to put on a hat called leadership, which involves all the strategic thinking, all of the components that, again, like we said, they've never perhaps been asked to do, trained to do, whatever. And so I think the first challenge I find is having it resonate, the need resonate with that solopreneur entrepreneur, because they're having success in what they're doing. They'd like more success, but it's easy just to keep doing what they're doing and they'll continue down this path. But having the light bulb go off and say, it could be something else, and I'm open to that something else. What could that something else look like?
I love that. And it's so true that being open to, what the possibilities are. And of course, when we're growing a business, we have to be open to those. We have to be able to redirect our energy. We also have to be able to have that balance between work life and personal life, that time to replenish and recharge our batteries, and the time to do the things that we want to do in our own personal life as well. And sometimes people are kind of a part-time entrepreneur and also working at a job, and also then trying to balance all of that with personal life, and it can be very difficult. But it is absolutely key that we are staying open, that we are allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, because living online in a business, if that's the kind of business that you have, that there'll be a lot of vulnerability exposure. I'll tell you, I've had my own business for over 25 years, and I thought this will be fine. I just need to transfer that to a different platform. Not true. Because when you're reaching out and connecting with people online, it's a very different thing. I would never share my personal stories with the same vulnerability and openness as I would in the corporate world, for example. I would never share my struggles to, talk about my feminine energy and, losing connection, or trying to find connection with my creativity and intuition, because, within the corporate world, it's a very different thing as a masculine energy. It's about drive, results, compete, and those things are wonderful. But for me, because I was so deeply entrenched in that corporate world, and I understood the masculine energy and how that game is played, it was a huge shift to being able to be online and be live and be vulnerable. And somebody asks you a question that you would never be discussing in the corporate world. And it can be triggering. And you'll see the 2 episodes ago with Emmy Peterson, we were triggering each other a couple of times while we were talking about, being open and backing yourself for career confidence. And but back to the episode this week with Karen Loftus, that we do discuss a little bit about that balance of, work life and personal life. And we also talk about the situational leadership, and having that kind of flex and range to how we approach situations, how we display our leadership qualities, because leadership is, I mean, it's definable. There have been a lot of books written about it. If you want to reach out, I can recommend a lot. I have a whole library in my office upstairs, and there are some amazing books on it. There are also a lot of things on YouTube. So I won't go into a whole kind of spiel about what leadership is, but do check out the Vodcast or podcast episode, because what Karen and I are talking about is actually application of those things. It's one thing having information about it. It's another thing actually applying it. And that's the kind of work that both Karen and I are doing. And I think, what's beautiful about, for me, I use dance and cabaret as my kind of creative outlet. And for Karen, she's a creative outlet with, her painting. She talks a lot about, kind of being open to trying different styles and learning a new style of painting right now. And I think we have to have that balance, that creativity that connects us as business owners or as employees, as certainly as leaders. And what it also does is it creates an empathy and a greater understanding of where other people are coming from. When we understand ourselves well, and we understand our ups and downs, and we understand our vulnerabilities and our need for creativity or our need for structure, then it really helps us to be able to understand others as well. Um, and it's important to get to a point where we're not judging ourselves, we're not judging others, we're being, and we accept that everyone is doing their best. I love this conversation so much. I've gone longer than I normally would in Confidence with Coffee, because I really could talk about retraining and all kind of motivation and all kinds of things. So go check out this episode, and you'll be able to get a lot more information. We are Confidence Through Cabaret on all of the socials. Do join our Facebook. Check out confidencethroughcabaret.com. We have so many wonderful masterclasses on there, as I've already mentioned. Check out Twitter. We are at YBYWYS. It's one of the only places we are not Confidence Through Cabaret. And my handle on Clubhouse is at Heather YBYWYS. And those 6 wonderful little letters stand for: it is your body, and it is your world, and it is your stage. And if you haven't done this for a while, take up space, spread out, own it unapologetically. Just take up space, because you deserve to. And it is your right to take up space. Thank you for being here. I will be here next week with another episode of Confidence with Coffee, and we'll have a coffee and a chat together. In the meantime, go check out the podcast or vodcast episode. Thank you so much. Bye for now.